Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth, you're watching the Planeswalker Pantheon, and today we are going to be opening up 53 packs of the latest Magic set from Magic the Gathering, Strixhaven, School of Mages. I've gotten 53 packs here because I pre-ordered the set on Magic Arena just before its release, and if you use the code PLAYSTRIXHAVEN, all in one word, you'll actually get an extra 3 packs of the set. Anyways, enough of talking, let's get into this set, shall we? So we've got Necrotic Fumes, Lorehold Pledge Mage, Rise of Exodus, Leech Fanatic, Soothsayer Adept, Zephyr Boots. We've got Shock in the really cool Mystic Archives frame, which actually looks really pretty. And our rare is Ulvira, Dean of Perfection, and Nasiri, Dean of Expression. So Uldavira, Dean of Perfection, for 2 and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Dijin Wizard. It's a 2/2. You can tap it to exile an instant or sorcery card from your hand and put 3 hone counters on it. Again, at the beginning of your upkeep, if this card is exiled, remove a hone counter from it. And when the last counter is removed, if it's exiled, you may cast it. It costs 4 less to cast this way, so it's kind of pseudo-suspend. And Nasiri, Dean of Expression, is a 4/4 legendary creature, Efreet Shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those exiled cards. And you may spend mana as though there were mana of any color to cast those spells. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Nasiri. Next up, we've got a Curate, we've got a Letter of Acceptance, Promising Dusk Mage, Tangle Trap, Necrotic Fumes. We've got a Doomblade in that Mystical Archive artwork. We've also got a Kelpie Guide, and our rare is Beldros Witherdream. It's actually a mythic, so for 5, a green and a black, it's a legendary creature, Elder Dragon. It's a 4/4 with flying. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green and black pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Pay 10 life to untap all lands you control. Activate only once each turn. Cool. So we've got a Common Wild card, a Sudden Breakthrough, Reckless Amphimancer, Quandrix Campus, Plumb the Forbidden, Agonizing Remorse in that cool frame, another Kelpie Guide, and our rare is Silver Cool Silence. So it's actually one of my favourite cards from this set so far. So for a white and a black, you get a creature, human cleric, and it enters the battlefield, choose a non-land card name. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with the chosen name, they lose 3 life, and you draw a card. Got Big Play, Mage Duel, Professor's Warning, Quandrix Pledge Mage, Deadly Brew. We've got a Go Blank. We've actually got a rare here in Leon and Light Scribe, which for 1 and a white, you get a creature, Cat Cloak. It's a 2/2 with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. And our rare is actually Memory Lapse in that really cool frame. So Memory Lapse, 1 and a blue, it's an instant, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, put it on top of its owner's library instead of into that player's graveyard. That artwork is real pretty. Thrilling Discovery, Vortex Runner, Exhilarating Elocution, Prismari Campus, Practical Research. We've got a Frostbite Snarl, which is one of the new dual lands. It actually completes the cycle from Shadows over Innistrad, I believe. If not, it's a continuation of that cycle. And our rare is Ephemerate. So 1 white for an instant, exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control, and you rebound. For those who aren't familiar, the Mystical Archive cards, if you're getting this set in paper, you'll get one card slot dedicated specifically to those Mystical Archives. So I've got a Pigment Storm, Big Play, Environmental Science with the lesson subtype, Make Your Mark, Ight Witch, Reduce to Memory, a Shock with that really cool artwork, and our rare is Blade Historian. So for 4 Boros Hybrid, you get a creature, human cleric as a 2/3. Attacking creatures you control have Double Strike. Got a Common Wild card here, Molten Carrick, Excavated Wall, Pilgrim of the Ages, an uncommon wild card. Opt with that really cool frame there. Aether Helix, and our rare is Tasna Quandrix. So for 3, a green and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Elder Dragon. It's a 4/4 flying and trample. When it enters the battlefield, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever a Tanzar Quandrix attacks, you may have the base power and toughness of other creatures you control become equal to a Tanzar Quandrix power and toughness until end of turn. Got a Frost Trickster, Introduction to Annihilation, Blood Age General, Spectacle Mage, an uncommon wild card. Got Eliminate, again, really cool artwork. Got Ruther, Mercurial Artist, and our rare is Cayenne, Dean of Substance, and Ibrahim, Dean of Theory. So, Cayenne, so for 2 and a green, you get a legendary creature, Elf Druid. It's a 2/2. Exile the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put in your hand, otherwise put a study counter on it. 4 and a green, you create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana value among non-land cards you own in exile with study counters on them. And Ibrahim, Dean of Theory, legendary creature, Bird Wizard. It's a 3/3 with flying. It's for 2 and 2 blue. X and 2 blue tap. Exile the top X cards of your library and put a study counter on each of them. You may put a card you own in exile with a study counter on it into your hand. Alright. So we've got Novice Desiccator, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, Charge Through, Field Trip, Mage Hunter, Agonizing Remorse in that cool frame, Flunk, and our rare is Torrent Sculptor and Flame Thrower Sultana. So for 2 and 2 blue, you get a creature Merfolk Wizard with Ward 2. It's a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Put a number of +1/+1 counter counters on Torrent Sculptor equal to half of that card's mana value rounded up. Or for Flamethrower Sultana, it's a sorcery. You discard a card, then draw a card. When you discard an instant or sorcery card this way, it deals damage equal to that card's mana value to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. We have Beaming Defiance, Teach by Example, Cogwork Archivist, Study Break, Mentor's Guidance, Village Rites in that really cool Mystical Archive artwork, Eye Twitch, and our rare is Plug, Dean of Chaos, and Augusta, Dean of Order. So Plug, for 1 and ready, a creature, legendary creature, Orc Shaman's a 2/2, can tap it to discard a card and discard a card to draw a card. And for 4 and a red and tap, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary, non-land card with mana value 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put all revealed cards not cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. And for Augusta, Dean of Order, for 2 and a white, get a legendary creature, Human Cleric. It's a 1/3. Other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0. Other untapped creatures you control get +0/+1. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Okay, so you can sort of reset the battlefield a little bit into a way that's a little bit more beneficial to you. That's really neat, actually. Got Stormbound Mentor, Teach by Example, Square Up, Promising Dusk Mage, Symmetry Sage, got a Cultivate in that really nice Mystic Archive work, Eye Twitch, and our rare is a rare wild card. Common wild card, Campus Guide, Vortex Runner, Burying Books, uncommon wild card, Village Rites, Expressive Iteration, and our rare is Strixhaven Stadium. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. You can tap to add a colours and put a point counter on the stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from the stadium. Whenever a creature you control deals combat to an opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then if it has 10 or more hit point counters on it, remove them, and that player loses the game. Nice. Leyline Invocation, Ogre Battleseer, Lorehold Pledge Mage, Ageless Guardian, uncommon wildcard. Got a Symmetry Sage, got a Null Professor, so for 2 and 2 green you get a creature Treefolk Druid with Trample. When it enters the battlefield, learn, and it's a 5/4. And our rare is Inquisition of Kozilek in the Mystical Archive. So it's for a single black, you get a sorcery. Target player reveals their hand, you choose a non-land card from it with mana value 3 or less. That player discards that card. Prismari Pledge Mage, Archway Commons, Heated Debate, Lawhole Campus, Silver Quill Apprentice. We have a Start from Scratch. Our first rare is Chalet, Dean of Radiance, and Embrose, Dean of Shadow. So for Chalet, for 1 and a white, you get a legendary creature Bird Cleric with Flying and Vigilance. Tap it to put a +1/+1 counter onto each creature that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. For Embrose, you get a legendary creature Hidden Warlock. It's a 4/4. For 2 and 2 black. You can tap to put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Then Embrose, Dean of Shadow, deals 2 damage to that creature. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you draw a card. And our Mystical Archive card is Time Warp. So for 3 and 2 blue, you get a sorcery. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Nice. We've got Mage Duel, Excavator Wall, Soothsayer Adept, Relic Sloth, Zephyr Boots. Got Golden Ratio, Shock in the Mystical Archive frame, and our rare is a rare wild card. Common wild card, Professor's Warning, Elemental Summoning, Pigment Storm, Wormhole Serpent, Defiant Strike, Xeon Quandrix Prodigy, and our rare is Retriever Phoenix. So for 3 and a red, you get a creature Phoenix. It's a 2/2 with Flying and Haste. When enters the battlefield, if you cast it, learn. As long as Retriever Phoenix is in your graveyard, if you would learn, you may instead return Retriever Phoenix to the battlefield. Got Exhilarating Elocution, Resculpt, Pillar Drop Warden, Prismari Pledge Mage, Flunk, Opt in the Mystical Archive frame, Tend the Pests, and our rare is Archmage Emeterius. So for 2 and 2 blue, you get a creature Human Wizard. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. Common Wild card, Blood Age General, Introduction to Annihilation, Exhilarating Elocution, Returned Past Caller, Divine Gambit in the Mystical Archive frame, which is actually probably one of my more favourite artworks, Divide by 0, and our rare is Necro Bloom Snuff. So this is the green-black version of our land cycle for this set. Ogre Battleseer, Pilgrim of the Ages, Study Break, Crushing Disappointment, and Uncommon Wildcard, Eliminate in the Mystical Archive frame, Explosive Welcome, and our rare is Watering Archaic. So you get a 4/4 creature avatar for 5 mana. When an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, they may pay 2. If they don't, you may copy that spell. If you may choose new targets for the copy, or you can explore the vast lands for 3. Each player looks at the top 5 cards of their library and reveal a land card or an instant or sorcery from among them. Each player puts the cards revealed this way into their hand and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. Each player gains 3 life. We have a Blood Researcher, Witherbloom Pledge Mage, Owlin Shield Mage, Novus Desiccator, Master Symmetrist, Mercurial Transformation, D-Spark in the really cool Mystic Archive frame, and our rare is a Mythic Rare Wildcard. Bibliopax Assistant, Make Your Mark, Blood Age General, Expanded Autonomy, Reconstruct History, Defiant Struck in the Mystic Archive form, Creative Outburst, and our rare is Dagmoth Titan. So for 4 hybrid Golgari, you get a creature demon. It's a 11/10. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you sacrifice a creature. Got a common wild card, Teach by Example, Witherbloom Campus, Enthusiastic Study, Secret Rendezvous, Snakeskin Veil in the archive form, Master Symmetrist, and our rare is Rushed Rebirth. So for black and a green, you get an instant. Choose target creature. When that creature dies this turn, search a library for a creature card with lesser mana value and put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Common Wildcard, Prismari Pledge Mage, Thrilling Discovery, Waterfall Aerialist, Thunderous Orator, Strategic Planning in the really cool Mystical Archive form, Tend the Pests, and our rare is Devastating Mastery. So for 2 and quad white, you get a sorcery. You may pay 2 and 2 white rather than pay this spell's mana cost. If the 2 and 2 white cost was played, an opponent chooses up to 2 non-land permanents they control and returns them to their owner's hand, and you destroy all non-land permanents. Moldering Karok, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, Introduction to Prophecy, Frost Trickster, Overgrown Arch, Vilmagru's Snarl is our rare land. We've got Kentorius Field Historian, and our mythical archive is Day of Judgment. So for 2 and 2 white sorcery, you destroy all creatures. First day of class, Inkling Summoning, Crushing Disappointment, Witherbloom Pledge Mage, Uncommon Wildcard, Quintorius Field Historian, Faithless Looting, which is actually a pretty interesting card to bring into Arena, and our rare is actually a mythic. It's Professor Onyx. So for 4 and 2 black, a legendary Planeswalker Liliana. So has 5 loyalty. She has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. +1, you lose 1 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. -3, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. And -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times. Oof, that's a harsh lesson there, Liliana. Or Professor Onyx. Got a Star Pupil, Relic Sloth, Stonebound Mentor, Arrogant Poet, Reflective Golem, Eliminate in the Mythical Archive frame, Mascot Interception, and our rare is a rare wild card. Common wild card, Spirit Summoning, Spring Mage Servant, Pilgrim of the Ages, Reduced to Memory, Duress in the Mythical Archive frame, Silver Quill Apprentice, and our rare is Quandrix Command. So for 1, a green and a blue, you get an instant, you choose 2. Return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand, counter target artifact or enchantment spell, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, or 3, target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. Square Up, Combat Professor, Cogwork Archivist, Quandrix Campus, Stormkilled Artist, Revitalize in the Mythical Archive form, Symmetry Stage, and our rare is Dramatic Finale. So for 4 Ores of Hybrid, you get an enchantment. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control dies, create a 2/1 black and white Inkling creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. Archway Commons, Curate, Prismari Campus, Spirit Summoning, Kelpie Guide, Divine Gamut in the Mythical Archive form, Zimmerone, Quandrix Prodigy, and our rare is Prismari Command. So for 1, a blue and a red, you get an instant, choose 2. It deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token or destroy target artifact. Gotta Make Your Mark, Professor's Warning, Illustrious Historian, Waterfall Aerialist, Humiliate, Eliminate, that's a little bit of alliteration there, in the Mythical Archive, Show of Confidence, and our rare is Necrobloom Snarl. For those who aren't familiar with that land cycle, it's when you put into play, you must reveal a land of the same basic land type that it taps for, otherwise it comes into play tapped. Enthusiastic Study, Prismari Pledge Mage, Fuming Effigy, Spirit Summoning, Common Wildcard, Infuriate in the Mythical Archive frame, Academic Dispute, and our rare is Double Major. So for a green and a blue instant, you copy target creature spell you control, except it isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. It's pretty neat, actually. Got a Common Wildcard, Cogwork Archivist, Big Play, Quandrix Pledge Mage, Practical Research, Agonizing Remorse, Decisive Denial, and our rare is Teachings of the Archaic. So for 2 and a blue, you get a sorcery. It's a lesson. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, you draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards instead if an opponent has at least 4 more cards in hand than you. Vortex Runner, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, Cram Session, Pigment Storm, Quinterius Field Historian, Revitalize is our Mythical Archive card, Stormkiln Artist, oh I like those treasure tokens actually, and our rare is Augmenta Pugilist and Echoing Equation. So Augmenta Pugilist, it's a 3/3 for 1 and 2 green, it's a creature troll druid, it has trample, as long as you control 8 or more lands, Augmenta Pugilist gets +5/+5. Or for echoing equation for 3 and 2 blue, choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of it until end of turn, except those creatures aren't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary. So Pacific's deciding to fudge the legendary rule this time around. Waterfall Aerialist, Biomathematician, Fractal Summoning, Frost Trickster, Zimone Quandrix Prodigy, Village Rats, Creative Outburst, and our rare is Callous Blood Mage. So for 2 and a black, you get a creature vampire warlock. It's a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you choose 1. Create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. Draw a card and lose a life, or exile target player's graveyard. Interesting. So we have a pest summoning, Vortex Runner, Essence Infusion, Illustrious Historian, Mercurial Transformation. We've got Shock, Quintarius Field Historian, and our rare is Sedgemoor Witch. So for 2 and a black, you get a creature or human warlock with menace. It has ward to pay 3 life. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 green and black pest creature token with whenever this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Field Trip, Promising Dusk Mage, Archway Commons, Relic Sloth, Quandrix Cultivator, Defiant Struck as our Mythical Archive card, Hallmonger, nice little pun there, and our rare is Confront the Past. For X and a black, you get a sorcery lesson. Choose 1, return target Planeswalker card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or remove twice X loyalty counters from target Planeswalker an opponent controls. Common wild card, Dragon's Approach, Needlethorn Drake, Quandrix Campus, Uncommon wild card, Strategic Planning, Devouring Tendrils, and our rare is Chalet Dean of Radiance and Ambrose Dean of Shadow. Got Resculpt, Spectacle Mage, Essence Infusion, Exhilarating Elocution, Umbral Duke, Duress in the Mythical Archive frame, Mage Hunter, and our rare is Silverquill Silencer. Common wildcard, Essence Infusion, Bury in Books, Promising Dusk Mage, Fortify and Draft, Brainstorm in the Mythical Archive frame, Start from Scratch, and our rare is Vermiculous Lawhold. So for 5, a red and a white, you get a legendary creature, Elder Dragon. It's a 5/5 with Flying, Vigilance, and Haste. Whenever Vermiculous Lawhold attacks, look at the top 7 cards of your library. May cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to Vermiculous Lawhold's power from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order. Got Mage Duel, Hunt for Specimens, Biomathematician, Letter of Acceptance, Mortality Spear, Strategic Planning as our Mythical Archive card, Emergent Sequence, and our rare is Frostbolt Star. Charge Through, Relic Sloth, Curate, Mage Duel, Mage Hunter, Infuriate, Decisive Denial, and our rare is Hall of Oracles. So it's a land, you tap to add colours. For 1 and tap, you add 1 mana of any colour, and tap it to a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you've cast an instant or sorcery this turn. Okay. Sacred Colony, Unwilling Ingredient, Eager First Year, Rise of Extras, an uncommon wild card, Fortify and Draft. We've got a Hall of Oracles, and we've got a rare Mythical Archive card. It's Gift of Estate. So for 1 and a white, you get a sorcery. If an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for up to 3 plains cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, and then shuffle. Common wild card, Crushing Disappointment, Environmental Science, Pillar Drop Warden, Divide by Zero, Duress, Stormkiln Artist, and our rare is Sedgemoor Witch. Arcane Subtraction, Inkling Summoning, Quandrix Campus, Lash of Malice, Uncommon Wildcard, Tezzeret's Gambit in the Mythical Archive frame, Decisive Denial, and our rare is actually a mythic. It's Hoffrey Ghostforge. So for 3, a red and a white, get a legendary creature, Dwarf Cleric. It's a 4/5. Spirits you control get +1/+1 and have trample and haste. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types, and has, when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to your graveyard. That's neat, actually. That's actually a really cool ability, actually, for Boros to have access to. Have a sudden breakthrough, hunt for specimens, pigment storm, defend the campus, an uncommon wild card, village rites as our mythical archive card, Quintorius Field Historian, and our rare is Aldivia, Dean of Perfection, and Nasiri, Dean of Expression. Got Charge Through, Professor's Warning, Introduction to Prophecy, Star Pupil, Mercurial Transformation, Adventurous Impulse as our mythical archive card, Snow Day, and our rare is Academic Probation. So for 1 and a white, you get a sorcery. It's a lesson. Choose a non-land card name. Opponent's card casts spells with the chosen name until your next turn. Choose target non-land permanent. Until your next turn, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Got a common wild card, Relic Sloth, Combat Professor, Bibliopex Assistant, Show of Confidence, Negate in the Mythical Archive frame, Emergent Sequence, and our rare is Verdant Mastery. So for 5 and a green, you get a sorcery. You may pay 3 and a green rather than play the spell's mana cost. Search your library for up to 4 basic lands and reveal them. Put one of them to the battlefield tapped and under... Put one of them onto the battlefield tapped under an opponent's control. If the 3 and a green cost was paid, put 2 of them onto the battlefield tapped under your control and the rest in your hand, then shuffle. Huh. And it's kind of the reverse. The downside is on the cheaper side. Got a Fractal Summoning, Mage Duel, Frost Trickster, Sudden Breakthrough, Snow Day, Doomblade in the Mythical Archive frame, Quintorius Field Historian, and our rare is a Mythic Rare wildcard. We have Square Up, Spiteful Squad, Relic Sloth, Stonebound Mentor, Show of Confidence, Overgrown Arch. Our first rare is a Rushed Rebirth, and our mythical rare wildcard is Lightning Helix. So for red and a white, you get an instant Lightning Helix does 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. Nice. So we've got a common wild card, Elemental Summoning, Frost Trickster, Lorehold Campus, Mascot Interception, Closing Statement. Got a Torrent Sculptor here, and another rare Mythical Archive card here in Inquisition of Kozilek. Common wild card, Silver Clue Pledge Mage, Wither Bloom Pledge Mage, Spiteful Squad, uncommon wild card. Got Diana Soul Steeper, Adventurous Impulse as our Mythical Archive card, and our rare is Vine Glimmer Snarl. No. We've expanded Anatomy, Cogwork Archivist, Witherbloom Pledge Mage, Mage Duel, Return to Caller, Tend to the Pests, Culling Ritual is a new rare, so for 2, a black and a green, you get a sorcery. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Add black or green for each permanent destroyed this way. And our rare mythical archive card is Crozen Grip. So for 2 and a green, you get an instant split second. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. And our last pack for the day is coming right up. We've got a common wild card, Essence Infusion, Leyline Invocation, Mage Duel, Honor Troll, ha, nice. Decisive Denial, Defiant Struck is our mythical archive card, and our rare is Vine Glimmer Snarl. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe, and let people know that we exist. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.